This is going to be very difficult playing with one hook as a hand. I've kidnapped that lumbering fool Donkey Kong, and you will never see him again. Arr, 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 arr. Captain K. Rool. Our first Krem coin. But I love, see, even with that, it's like a very piratey theme because it's like this golden treasure coin. Ah, yes, and then we have to collect a hidden DK coin in every level as well, so that Cranky Kong will accept us as a great player. So I love these early levels because they're very simple, they're very free, they're very easy, but they kind of teach the player, and then obviously as we progress, things get a lot more difficult and a lot more hidden. No Donkey Kong game would be complete without some Cranky Kong. Come and say hello to your old Grandpa Cranky. I'm back by popular demand to offer you my wealth of gameplay and wisdom for this unnecessary sequel. Oh, it's you again. I thought it might be a real video game hero. Look, they've even taken my chair from me. It's disgusting how they treat old video game heroes these days. I hate being stuck in this shabby barrel. I want to sit outside like last time. Shouldn't Dixie just be a token female princess waiting to be rescued instead of a main character? Alright, so we got a new character, Kong College Wrinkly Kong. Hello dearies, I'm Mrs. Wrinkly Kong. Once again, maybe Rareware was predicting the future because it had to remove the sexy female Candy Kong that saves our game. You know, modern audiences are offended by attractive females, so we have to have representation, old, ugly, short-haired, wrinkly Kong to save our game. What is absolutely beautiful about this background 2 effect, notice above us is like this roof, but if we get closer it begins to scale, and then once we reach this point it's basically we're looking at it sight on, and so therefore in real life we would not be able to see the top or bottom, but then once we start to go above it, then it starts to expand as if, look at how wide that is. So really beautiful effect that kind of is very also realistic to real life as far as how three-dimensional object would be rendered if it was indeed a three-dimensional object. But it's not 3D. But it is a great example of how far the Rareware was pushing the boundaries of what Super Nintendo could even accomplish. Alright, so a nice level design here. Of course the Kongs can use this hook to get up there, but the snake can't jump high enough there, so it's telling you that if you hold A, you can jump. So actually, we can see the level was designed so that we can actually get through with both. So when it comes to making a ROM hack, you gotta design your level so that you can get through if Mario is small, if Mario is big, if Mario has the cape, if Mario has Yoshi. And just like that, we're up to 10 Krem coins, baby. Oh man, missed opportunity. I should have had some mention of when I got 8 pieces. I would have had 8 pieces of 8. Get it? I think I do love the bosses in DKC 2 more than DKC 1. There's just so much beautiful about this game. Of course the music, the graphics on this one are just insane, as well as the aesthetics, honestly. Now hear this, landlubbers, me name is Clubba, and to cross my bridge is to cost your many pieces of 8. And if yours don't pay up, I'll run you through like the scurvy dogs you are. Arr, it costs 15 Krem coins to cross over, mateys. This is one of the coolest, ominous, creepy, haunting, but epic tracks for the whole game. So I love seals, and this is like so adorable. You can't ride or take this animal buddy anywhere, but he helps cool things down for you. Someone needs to make a vertical troll level. Now it's time to face off against the Cleaver's Kiln. One of the coolest metal on metal sound effects. You know how like fingernails on a chalkboard is generally perceived as not something desirable? But I gotta say, I love that sound effect of the cannonball hitting the steel blade. And then I love how it bursts apart. So cool. Feel free to do better on Super Nintendo hardware. Barrel Bayou. I love this whole world. It's like very swamp themed. So beautiful. Alright, yes, the double beetle section here. Okay, so the second little cloak dude throws a treasure chest. This is a sprite. If we do this to respawn the dude, he'll throw us 2 more beetles, alright? And then we'll throw a second treasure chest. So the question is, how much do you know about Super Mario World and how many sprites Super Nintendo can handle? 3, 4, 5. All right, you might notice, why is Diddy not being rendered correctly? 6. And the short answer to that is OAM, Object Attribute Memory. When the Super Nintendo is trying to write a line or a scan line of sprites, it can only write so much data. And so we're actually overflowing that. If we had these treasure chests all throughout, like, you know, on a different row, it would probably be fine. But since they're all in the same scan line, that's what's having issue about that. But can we do any more? Check out the lag. Look at that. We're hardly seeing any Diddy and Dixie anymore. Oh, and then our fun is ruined because there are too many sprites now. So when it tries to spawn the beetle that it throws, it can't because there's no more empty sprite slots. So we're basically stuck there. This is the limit of how many sprites we can have on screen. But as you can see, as it's desperately trying to print everything, there's just not enough power for the Super Nintendo. And then of course the OAM can't render all these. Ah yes, Glimmer's Galleon. So we've upgraded Squawks from the original game. It was our little flashlight buddy. We actually have the same mechanic, except it's now this really cool lanternfish dude. Or is it a football fish? But it's actually a cool idea to use the Squawks idea on an underwater level. What would you have to use? You need to use some sort of aquatic animal. And I mean, yeah, it's true, video games don't have to make sense, but at the same time, when they kind of do make logical sense, that makes it kind of special. So cool and so beautiful. So I think this is our first level, right, where we get turned into the animal buddy. If you think about this, makes sense because this would allow Rareware to then have more enemy sprites because they wouldn't have to worry about having Diddy or Dixie on screen. Bramble Blast is pretty stinking epic as well. And it's one of those, it's like Aquatic Ambience, the water level from the first game, in the sense that it's an incredibly long track. These boss fights are so stinking fun. This is Chestception. A chest within a chest, within a chest, within a chest, within a chest, within a chest. I know somebody somewhere out there said that there would be no math, but the thing is, they lied. In mathematics, the empty set is defined to be the set that contains no elements. So let's say that we define a set that contains the empty set. The question is that set empty? You could probably guess that yes, I do love this musical track. So Target Terror is our first roller coaster. It's not like the same aesthetic as Minecart Madness, but it's mechanically the same concept. I love this game so much. Ah yes, Rickety Race. This one is so much fun because you can play it on easy mode. If you play it on easy mode, you'll never finish the race. The only way to get first place, so just like Ready Player One, when we start, we go in reverse. Alright, there's the DK coin, baby. I don't know how anyone could not love the platforming of this game. I love Gloomy Gulch so much because it's basically the haunted forest aesthetic, but remember, we're still pirate themed, baby, so we have the haunted pirate forest aesthetic. So cool. So let me just walk back and forth here horizontally. Look at the beams of light and how they scroll and pan and sometimes even come to the forefront there. So amazing. All brought to you by the Super Nintendo. In a dark, dark wood, there's a dark, dark mansion. In said dark, dark mansion is a dark, dark library. in this dark, dark library. There's a dark, dark ghost skeleton. I almost want to take an intentional death here, just so that you can hear the evil cackle sound. Isn't that so epic? Really beautiful effect. These leaves help show the pattern of the wind on this level. The leaves are actually BG1, BG2 your foreground. Layer 3 is actually the background, which using layer 3 as the background, you're limited to 4 colors. One of those is transparency. So basically you have background color is your transparency, whatever you define it as. And then you have 3 other colors. But even so, 3 colors, I think this is an incredibly beautiful layer 3 background. Such a beautiful musical track on this one though. Right, so I love this level, Parachute Panic. What you're supposed to do, the purple squawks, super beautiful by the way, can only descend. You can't ascend, you can't flap your wings. You can slow your descent, but you can only descend, which makes this level pretty difficult, fun, interesting challenge, and also you have a large hitbox. But the thing is, if you have Dixie, it's actually way easier to just ditch the parrot and use your helicopter spin, because you are way more maneuverable and you have a much smaller hitbox. I think I've failed to show this off, but the dripping, oozing honey is actually your background 1. So, and then you have the foreground. So again, looking at that background is another layer 3 background. So 3 colors, 3 different colors plus your background transparency. So beautiful. Alright, so here is my love-hate relationship with Rareware. We have to snag the DK coin, but look at, we only have like, how many frames is that? We have a fraction of a second. Hit that just right. Alright, first try. I forget how long it took me last time I did this. Basically, that is Rareware's version, and you know, Pokemon definitely copied that as far as, I would say Gen 1 Tauros was ridiculously hard. Gen 2, the roaming dogs, that was ridiculous. Gen 3 Phoebus, oh my goodness, Game Freak Phoebus. Earlier in the game we fought a giant crow, but now Creepy Crow is back, the ghost of the boss of World 1. So basically, who are you gonna call? Diddy and Dixie could have just called Ghostbusters, and then they wouldn't have even had to do this fight. But no, I don't know what they have against Bill Murray. I love the connected lore aspect of this game because this is a direct sequel of DKC 1, right? So basically we had, as you can see in the background, Donkey Kong Island, and then it was attacked by this pirate ship, which is how this game began. But now that we've ascended this giant island up to the castle here, we can still see the Donkey Kong Island in the background. So awesome, honestly. So here we have our first ice level. So we don't have an entire ice world like in DKC 1 and 3, but some of the most beautiful music in this game. So now that we have 64 Krem coins, does that mean we have 8 pieces of 8? Or 8 groups of 8 pieces of 8? How would we say that? 8 pieces of 8s? 8s? Epic music, man. Gives me goosebumps. So unlike DKC 1, where we basically had exhausted all tile sets and graphics by the time we got to World 6, we've already seen ice caverns, and now we get a brand new castle tile set, which actually uses a similar as the Lockjaw's Locker. So if you look at the background, it has that same three-dimensional skewing effect. I remember back in the day thinking or saying that this World 6 was too much like Mario, and basically the reason I said that is because it had castle aesthetics. And of course, what is always at the end of Mario games? The final castle, where we save the princess. But I definitely don't think that anymore, because really these castle aesthetics are far different than Mario Castle looks. See, this is why this game is awesome. Tight platforming action. So we've already seen Clapper, but here he turns cold water into ice. epic platforming action, baby. Stronghold Showdown. Oh no, DK has been stolen. We got our Krem coin. And oops. Oh no. What do we do? DK got stolen again. The Flying Croc. Such animal violence. Look everyone, I matched with Captain K. Rool. I do love the music on this end boss though. Why couldn't Donkey Kong just break out of the ropes like, at the beginning of this game? I knew you could do it, Diddy, my boy, and how could you fail having learned all you know from old Cranky here? You've rescued that lazy grandson of mine and dumped K. Rool in his own filthy swamp. Not bad for a novice. Of course, if I'd have been playing, I'd have made sure that K. Rool never tries a cheap trick like this again. I reckon I'd have found all the Krem coins and completed the so-called Lost World. Oh well, can't expect everything from your first game, can we? One more thing, how many of my special video game hero coins did you find? A real player such as myself would have found plenty, I'm sure. Let's see how well you did, eh? Well, I've got a second screen and about time too. Now shut up and everyone while I read the eagerly awaited results of my prestigious Video Game Hero Awards. Hey, not bad for a youngin'. Of course, you're going to have to find a few more if you want to be as big of a hero as I was. Now buzz off and see if you can find some more of my coins, which I very much doubt you will. My favorite Donkey Kong credits music here. Fun fact, on that top 3 pedestal, you have of course Mario and Yoshi you saw, but if you have fewer than, I can't remember, a dozen coins, there actually is a programmed third spot, and it's Link, actually. Ye scurvy Kong crew. It makes me wonder, it's been almost 30 years since this game was released. All of these people who at the time obviously worked at Rareware, like we know many things, like for example, many people who worked on Perfect Dark went and made Free Radical, as well as produced the Time Splitters games, but I mean, you always have people going everywhere. Very curious, 30 years later, where are all of these people? Are they still in the games industry? Are they making games? Have they retired? Original Donkey Kong creator, Shigeru Miyamoto. The end. Or is it? Animal Antics. This is the most difficult course in this game, and in my opinion, it's the most difficult of the entire Donkey Kong Country trilogy. Cool idea though, we have to play through all 5 animal buddies. Of course the parrot is by far the most difficult, Squawks. I'm pretty sure Nintendo stole this troll idea much later in life for their Mario Maker 2 with their trolley wind. Come on, man. Squawks, no! That was it, Squawks. No! Squawks, no. Holy cow. That took me a lot more attempts to beat Animal Antics, but I think I'm way ahead on time still. Back to see me again, eh, Sonny? Let's see if you've improved your hero status, shall we? I'm not afraid to admit it, Diddy, my boy. Even I'm wrong occasionally. You're as big a hero as they come. You must take after me and Donkey. Well done. The path where no man thought. Cranky gave a compliment. And here we have this beautiful screen, true ending, 102% completion of Donkey Kong Country 2. But is it over? K. Rool escapes yet again. So I give you the time to beat, 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you again at Great Games for your time.